I want to expand on this invitation of reflection, thinking about the fact that we are now at the solstice point today. If you acknowledge and celebrate this day, wishing you a happy solstice. And tomorrow, of course, Midsummer's Day, at least in the Northern Hemisphere, we are on this cusp, and the weather's getting quite warm here over this weekend. But there is a part of me that can't help but acknowledge that tomorrow is the longest day, and then this is a shift and a change in direction also. So it is a really interesting point to come into a reflection practice and just to create some room. And I was using this timeline idea of what have the last 6 months, in terms of an expression of voice or an expression of your creative energy or an expression of how you've been showing up for yourself. What has that felt like, looked like? Are there any themes there that have emerged that feel pertinent to you? And then taking the space also to potentially give yourself a breath, a resting breath, to land where you are now at this kind of still point. And then maybe an energizing breath is required also before you then set out on your next part of the journey, the next 6 months. What is to come? And do you have any intentions around the expression of your voice, the expression of your energy, the expression of your creativity? And that quite often we don't give ourselves permission to pause because we are caught up in, the busyness of doing, and that we are also jumping ahead to, further down the timeline, or projects realized, or we see all of the tasks that need to be completed in order for us to reach our desired goal or destination. And regrouping and checking in with, actually, how am I now? How are my energy levels? How are my resources? Do I have everything I need to support this next chunk of time, this next stage of exploration? So ways in which you can deepen this practice, this could be over the space of 5 minutes, just having a think about, oh, what have I been doing? Where am I now? And where am I going? Or this pause point could make really nice room for some breath work, a grounding practice. Maybe pause to you is actually not rooted in stillness, but it has a quality of movement to it as well. And, that is also a wonderful way to explore the sense of presence and being in this particular moment. And what does that feel like? If that had a quality of movement and an expression about it, what would that be like? And then exploring that as a creative prompt. And then this kind of looking forward, or looking onto the new horizon. And perhaps there are intentions there. Perhaps this is a good point to think about with this block of time, with this window, with the capacity that I feel I have now. This is something I feel that I can move towards, I'm feeling called towards, and using then journaling as a bridge to expand on those ideas, or just to give yourself space for kind of more enriching insights and allowing that to be a time of free writing, taking inventory, just, you know, writing, whether that's in a particular like creative mode, um, or if it's just, you know, writing for writing's sake and just getting that information out onto the page. The release of that, the insights that can come through that, and potentially plans as well for the future. So definitely I've been doing more and more writing in lots of different ways, lots of different forms and mediums. And yeah, it's quite amazing what can emerge from that space, especially from that kind of subconscious, if we provide a space for that expression to land on the page. And yeah, this is about what is most nourishing and most helpful for you. So this idea of moving into a practice that has a meditative quality, it's about, you know, meditative doesn't have to mean complete stillness. There is active imagination and energy moving through your being as you're engaging with this, and there are different styles and different ways to approach it. So it's about what will support me, what will energize me, what will nourish me, or what will offer me sanctuary, what will offer me pause and rest. So these are all questions that you will be able to answer, and, you know, to either fill that pause point with some enriching activities to stimulate a response that feels like it can be a mirror for you. But also, that invitation could also lead to a response within you that is about, actually, this time is about creating space and holding and maintaining that, and not filling it with activity. And that is also really important as well. And I think over this weekend, anyway, there's definitely going to be one day where I'm going to try and maintain this quality of internal space that is feels expansive, but I'm also not actively going to try to push that or force that or stretch the boundary of that inner landscape, and actually just focus on sitting inside of that energy and being, or hopefully coming to a point of feeling more comfortable with being able to do that, and to recognize that permission to do that is also very, very okay. That practice and that active part can be about the intentional quality of energy that's brought into how we focus in a space. So there is still a quality of action there, but it could be a kind of a resistance to overdoing and overworking and keeping the mind busy, and actually creating action through presence and stillness. So those are some thoughts, and I'm wishing everyone a transitional phase over this weekend that feels supportive to you and nourishing to you. And I'd love to hear if you have any particular goals or directions of travel with regards to your voice and your vocal expression over the next 6 months. And if you feel that we might be able to support you in that journey, then I'd also love to hear from you as well. Please do feel free to reach out, and yeah, drop us a message, ask any questions you may have about holistic voice work, and yeah, have a good weekend, everybody.